Okay, so this critical element is much easier to understand if you think about it like a bunker shot. So if you want to hit a high bunker shot, or you've seen the players on TV who do that, they get in the bunker, they aim their stance to the left, and then when they hit, you'll notice that the follow through, they hit this ball and almost looks like they just flick it up into the air. That's typically the method to hit the biggest slice that you can too. Meanwhile, when you watch the players who hit and they keep the ball really low, like a knockdown shot from the fairway, their follow through is a little bit different. They hit the shot and they keep the shaft stretched way out in front of them and have a really short follow through. Those are really nice mechanics to think of for not slicing the ball as well. So the worst golfers hit their driver like a bunker shot. That imparts the most spin and always kicks it to the right. How you bend your wrist is really the key in that whole formula. So in the backswing, the best golfers start with their left wrist pretty flat. In the backswing early on, if anything, it starts to flex downward, or they start to bend their wrists like you're flexing your forearm. Then as the swing gets longer, to help lengthen out the backswing, a lot of the good players start to extend their wrist just a touch like this. And then on the way down, they flex it again, same move as that forearm flex, before ultimately hitting the shot with it relatively flat. Slicers and the bunker shot players in the beginning start with their wrist extended, and then in the backswing extend it even more. Meanwhile, that was not the pattern of a good golfer. At the top of the swing, extend it the most, and then on the way down, just keep it that way. So that cup in the wrist is really problematic to you doing anything but hitting with the face way too open to the target and to the club path. So a good way to think about this and how to organize it in your head would be to feel as though the back of your left wrist is always aiming down towards the ground in the backswing, and on the way down, that you're going to flex the back end of your hand, the back of your hand itself, straight down towards the ground. Then you hit the shot, and to avoid the bunker shot follow through of the best players this way, you're actually going to hit, and when the shaft is up into the air like this, just vertical to the ground, the back of your wrist should now be facing towards the target you want to hit. So that's really the recipe to always keep your wrist flexed throughout the entire swing. Now that isn't what you'd try to do if you really want to hit the ball extremely straight. You'd want to learn how to flex it and extend it and bend it both ways. There's a critical element there. But most slicers always have their wrists like this, far too extended. It's just a tough way to play. So do the opposite and you'll start to learn how to hit these balls really low. So check out these swings that we've got up here now. The two of them that you'll see is just a massive difference in the left wrist. When you get to the top and you really extend your wrist, your friends might call that cupping. You can notice a difference in the face angle, how the toe of the club is aiming straight down. Meanwhile, the other swing, how flexed your wrist is, again, like you're flexing your forearm. And then the difference in that face angle, how it's aimed much more towards the sky. And then hitting, and you can see in the follow through, the massive difference in how your left wrist is positioned. So the slicers are aiming their left hand back towards the camera, and then you notice the comparison of the very flexed wrist and how that back of your left hand, you can't even see it from that view. It's aimed straight towards the target. That's a really nice way to learn how to draw all those balls. Okay, so you may not have recognized just how much your left wrist bend had an influence on where your shots are going. Hopefully you get that now. Hopefully the rest of the videos are also starting to progress along. You're understanding these, and we're just about done with all the critical elements that cause slicing. Now we need to talk about the most important part. That's how to practice it. So check out that next video. We'll show you how to start implementing this into your own game.